Hello and welcome to the AI Forecast. I'm your host, Paul Muller. Join me, along with leading companies and industry experts, as we explore the past, the present, and the future of data and AI in the enterprise every week, proudly brought to you by the amazing folks at Cloudera. Well, as we close out this year, 2025, it's a great time, I think, to think about what the next year might hold in store for the world of AI and data. To provide his perspective on emerging trends is the host of the Digital Analyst podcast and CEO and founder of Ferraro Consulting. Welcome back to the podcast, John Santaferraro. How are you, John?
How are you, John? Good. It's good to be here.
Bello, come sta?
Tutto bene, grazie.
He did threaten to do this entire podcast.
Possiamo farlo tutto in italiano. No?
He did threaten to do the entire podcast in Italian, which would basically be him talking to our very small Italian audience, I suspect. Mate, let's talk about trends. You've been on the show before. We normally would do the fast four, but everyone knows what your superpowers are. Let's cut to the chase. I mean, it's been an interesting year, 2025, as far as AI is concerned. I mean, both in the tech media, but even in just general media, everyone's been talking about it. So we're setting you up with a bit of an impossible task. What do you think the next year holds in store? Look into your crystal ball.
I have a crystal ball, and I use it all the time. I'm an industry analyst, so I get paid to use it. But
fair point.
I think that some of the things that are going to happen next year are really obvious, and they didn't happen in 2025. The first thing that comes to my mind is that people are going to learn about artificial intelligence.
Okay, you're going to have to say more because no one has done anything but talk about artificial intelligence for the last 12 months.
So people are talking about it, but if you look at actual AI literacy within organizations, it's low. People are playing with AI. People are touching AI at times. Sometimes they don't even know they're touching it. But most people don't know how to use AI. They don't understand what it is. They don't understand what can be done with it. In fact, we don't even know full well what can be done with AI because we're at the beginning of it. So right now, we're using AI to do old things faster. And that always happens in the beginning of a new technology. But what's going to happen is that people, when they learn about it, when they begin to use it, when that creates a passion within them because they're seeing what it can do, that literacy will actually unlock a whole new world of AI. There will be new business models, new products, new services, new ways of using technology that we have not conceived of yet, but it all starts with the education.
That's amazing. So your big pick for next year is that people will finally start to get it?
Yeah.
But you know what, as counterintuitive as that seems, I think you're onto something because even in my own work, I have to admit I'm dabbling. I wouldn't say I'm committed, if that makes sense. That holds water. What else have you got in store for us?
The other thing is that people will begin to use AI.
You're taking a contrarian note on today's pod, aren't you? No, okay, that's fair. Talk to me about it.
What I mean is, people are using.
Like me, a dabbler.
Yeah, they're dabblers. They're and it's exciting. I think people get it. It's the first technology that I've seen in my 30 years in the industry that has gone public and viral to the masses, right? So that everybody now understands ChatGPT. Everybody understands the basics of what it can do. But if you think about it, it began as generative AI, generating things. Write me a poem, in the style of Shakespeare about frogs and pickles, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it can be.
It was triviality.
It was triviality. Write an email for me. That's great. But that is such a small piece of how people could be using AI. Example, leaders. If you have C-level executives that are using AI to generate emails, they've completely missed it. The way they could be using it is strategically. I mean, think a CEO, for example, 3 things that are important to the CEO. Number 1, the vision. Where is all of this going? Number 2, the strategy. How are we going to get there? Number 3, the execution plan, and how do I put in place execution plans throughout my organization to follow the strategy to be able to get to the vision. Well, instead of writing emails, the AI has read every leadership book that has ever been written and has all of that leadership knowledge. It's read 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 case studies of businesses that have done well and what has caused them to go, why not ask the AI to help with the vision? How do I fine tune it?
Yeah.
Why not ask the AI, help me with my strategy? What am I missing? Where are the gaps? Help me think about it. Ask AI, what about the execution plan? Give me a better execution plan that eliminates 10 of the things in my plan, but still achieves the goals that I've set to be able to achieve the vision. And so that there's a strategic use of AI that is emerging right now and I think will become more prominent in 2026.
So if I was to summarize, 2026, the year of AI enablement and adoption, which I think tracks with some of the conversations we've been having, is people putting in roles like chief AI enablement officers. We're starting to see people take responsibility for making sure that the organization is getting inculcated with all of this new knowledge, how to prompt, those sorts of things. So I think that tracks. What else is popping up on your world? One of the conversations we were having earlier today was the topic of sort of private AI and sovereign cloud and sovereign data. Do you see that as being a big topic for next year?
Absolutely. I think especially private. And I understand the concept of sovereign cloud, and I think they come together because you're either going to deploy private AI in your data center or in a sovereign cloud, right? So you have to have both of those, but it is absolutely, I think, going to become a big deal in 2026 for three reasons. One, I think that people need to protect their IP. And that's become really obvious. And that's what freaks people out and companies out. What if I open up AI to my people and they start putting our IP in there, we're going to lose it. And actually many have already. It's been sucked into the large language models and it's just there and you can't get it back. You can't unlearn the language model. So it's just there. So number one is to protection of IP. Number two is creating a competitive advantage, because everybody has their own set of operating principles and procedures. Every company has values. Every company has, I think, a full set of best practices, especially consulting companies. These guys, everybody says they're going to go out of business, but they're sitting on their knowledge management system in those consulting companies. If that can be built into a private AI and a private model, that gives a competitive advantage to those consulting companies that nobody else will have because nobody has their knowledge base. So number one is protection of IP. Number two, competitive advantage. And number three, I think, is that ability to do their research and development privately. Because the last thing you want is people, it's not just the IP that they have, but the IP that they're developing.
What questions are you asking?
Yes, the questions you ask, you don't want that to become public. Here's a great example why. It's like one of the emerging uses of generative AI, for example, is the interview. Here's my strategy. Ask me 3 questions, one at a time, to get the rest of the information that you need to be able to help me make my strategy better. Mm-hmm. And in that interview, the AI is actually asking the questions. So I don't want them to know the questions I'm asking. I don't want the AI to know the things that I'm researching and developing.
People.
Yes.
Not other people. Yes. If they were, because if you've looked at Google's most frequently searched questions, it kind of gives you a sense of what the public is asking.
Yes.
If you could do the same thing with what are the most frequently asked ChatGPT questions from a corporate client, you'd suddenly have access to, you'd gain insight into their potential strategy because you know what questions they're asking. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Anything else on the horizon for you that you see sort of being emergent in 2026?
Am I allowed to still be a little contrarian?
Oh, keep going. I'm loving this. This is like probably one of my favorite podcasts ever. We're just It's all the deep cuts with you.
So in 2026, agents are going to screw up. That's a
prediction. I was
prediction.
about to ask you. Everyone's really bullish on everything, and we've just seen the MIT report talk about failures. Okay, so you think it's going to be the year of the agentic kind of? I'm trying to find a. It's like what was the name of the report about cars that were crashing at high speed? There was a name, I can't remember.
I can't either, but it's the year of agentification.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be the time also of the NADA report, wasn't it?
Yes,
the NADA
yes.
Unsafe at any speed. We're going to have an unsafe at any speed agentic moment.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I think that agents are going to screw up and make big mistakes because most companies don't have the governance in place to be able to control the agents.
Yep.
But it goes beyond that. Most people haven't governed their data. So you can't govern agents who are using the data unless you've already governed the data. And then you need an extra layer of governance to be able to govern the agents. And they're not one and the same. To govern data, you need to understand the lineage, where does it come from, what's been done to it, who owns it, who has access to it.
So here's a question for you then. Do you think in 2026, because everyone on the show has talked about, almost everyone has talked about data hygiene and governance being a problem, something you need to get done right. Do you think 2026 will be the year that people finally start doing something about it? Or is it an evergreen problem?
I think that, so I'm going to answer it a little differently because I think what will be interesting in 2026 is it will become clear who can actually govern the agents and the data, because there's a lot of data governance companies. There's some new AI governance companies that are beginning to hit the scene, but you actually have to have both of those things together in order to govern the agents. And the requirements for agents are incredibly different. I think one of the areas where we're going to see that emerge is the whole, what formerly was the integration space. Because you have, we've seen in the last year the unification of data engineering, where the average company has 10 data engineering platforms that do different things with streaming data, unstructured data, structured data, data at rest in databases, you name it, right? And we've seen the unification of data engineering, and within that, if you think about it, you have in one platform, you have all of the metadata about the data. You're able to integrate all of your applications. You can integrate all of your APIs, and you can govern all of that. Well, an AI agent, when you think about it, is another application.
It is.
It's just that you'll have thousands, or I saw somewhere today somebody that was predicting they'll have 1 million agents in the coming years, and they fully anticipate that.
I mean, slightly disturbing, I have to be honest.
I think we will see an emergence of these capabilities around agent governance,
but also the
but they're going to screw up.
Well, I said this on the podcast before. I haven't met an intern that doesn't make mistakes, and they are actual intelligence, not artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Heaven help me if an AI is going to start, getting it right before a grad does.
Yeah.
But you never know. I know I've kind of been throwing curveballs at you. As we wrap up, any other thoughts about what you see as being big topics for 2026?
2026, I think, will be the year of unification, the unification of everything.
What does that mean?
So we've seen, this happens in the industry. It goes from the one and the many. This has been happening, I think, since Plato and Socrates. The whole argument, is it better?
That's a deep cut. That is a deep cut.
Is it better to have the one, or is it better to have the many, right?
Yeah.
And marketing uses that. So whenever there's the one, marketing says, oh, you need the many. And whenever there's the many, marketing says you need the one.
Well, look at politics too, right?
Yes.
You define yourself by the opposite of whatever your competitor is saying, right?
So customers are demanding unification. So
unification of what, though?
Unification, data engineering, as I described.
Yep.
Unification of platforms.
Okay.
We're seeing the emergence and the acceptance, I think, of multimodal and multi-model databases. So multi-model, meaning they can handle different types of data with different types of structure and schema and different types of compute that is necessary for the different types of workloads. So this is what's going to power AI. When you have unified data engineering, and then you have unified analytics capabilities because you have a unified platform, suddenly now you can deliver AI in a powerful way that your competitors aren't going to be able to have. So I think we'll see the emergence of that unification. It's been happening since about 2018. There's been this trend. The data warehouse and the data lakehouse came together, right?
Yeah.
That was a platform thing. The data engineering, I think 2026 we'll see the unification of everything.
Yeah. Look, the good thing is we've recorded this, so we can come back and find out how good your predictions were. Yes. I think you said you had 6. You got one more to wrap up with, or?
The last Causal AI.
What's Causal AI?
Causal AI is really the intricate and detailed analysis of what causes things to happen in its simplest form. But think about, what we've done with predictive analytics and with pattern and matching in the last 10 or 15 years gives us really simple answers. This happened because of this, or maybe this and this. But the holy grail has been attribution. How much was it caused? What are the 10 things that caused this, and what was the percentage of it? And Causal AI allows you to build these very extremely complex models to be able to understand the attribution as well. Marketing attribution is a great one. I have a marketing background. And when a customer buys, well, why did they buy that product? And we can identify today 2 or 3 things, but there could be 100 things that all have different effects. There could be things that...
Well, especially if you go longitudinally too, because some purchase decisions can take a year. What actually caused that? Well, you might not be looking far back enough because, your analysis tools may not be thinking like that. So I think it's a great...
And it's completely outside of this whole generative AI modeling. This is the next wave.
Hallelujah.
And we're in the beginning of it. Yeah. So I think in 2026, we're going to see that popping up into conversations more and moving away from just correlation, what do we think caused it in 1 or 2 ways, to actual causal AI and causal modeling with this attribution to fully understand why things are happening. Now your prediction powers are greatly multiplied.
I love it. Well, let's wrap up. I might get you to go through your top 6 because I know I interrupted you a couple of times. From the top.
Okay, I don't know if I can do it because I'm kind of thinking on the spot. But
all right, we'll let it go then. We'll let it go. Hey, if people are interested in learning more about your work, your research, of mocking you for getting your predictions wrong in a year's time, where can they go?
Number 1, connect with me on LinkedIn. That's the best place. Let's keep the conversation going. You can also take a look at ferraroconsulting.com for my consulting business. And don't forget the Digital Analyst podcast.
It might be competition, but we still love it. Highly recommended listening as well. John, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to finally meet you
face to face. I know, right? It feels like an age. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, if you like what you've heard, or if you've got any comments, make sure to drop them into the comments section. You can also get in touch with us using the handle @Cloudera on LinkedIn with any comments or questions. We'd love to hear from you. If you like what you've heard, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss another drop. With that, we will see you all next week.